Welcome to The Engaging Life, a podcast about using engagement equity to improve your relationship building skills in your personal and professional life. And now, here are your hosts, Brandon Suba and Angela Cheney.
Whoa, what's happening, Angela?
Not a whole lot, Brandon. Just here in this back alley.
we're in the basement of the Funny Bone.
Yep.
Ironically, it's on the third floor now at Village Point.
Is it? Oh yeah.
Yeah,
it is.
you go up to go in there.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about comedy today. No, we're not. We are going to continue on the parallels of networking in a hard referral group versus the CVJ. Because as she was walking me through the CVJ, I was like, there are so many of these networking things that I'm thinking of. So the step that we just touched on was the excitement. Excite. And what is more exciting in your networking group than getting or giving a referral?
Nothing.
I love one-to-ones. I love the meetings, but the joy of that referral. And again, giving, and I'm going to talk about giving and receiving because there's good and bad ways I feel on both sides. But yeah, to get that referral, even if it's not closed, but it's still that good opportunity or the person you couldn't get in front of and you got that introduction. Now, if it closes, that's even cooler, right? But then the joy of giving, right? Like,
I love giving the perfect referral.
And when you have it set up perfectly, and we're going to talk about we're going to talk about what it should feel like for the person waiting for your call, because that to me is the line of if this is going to be easier to close or not. Now, no referral is guaranteed close. What's the definition of referral? Someone that is in the market for your product or service. Okay. So at least you stand a chance to have their business, but it's never guaranteed.
Right.
It's never guaranteed. And I feel the CVJ points out you can mess this up at any time. No matter who got you in or how you got in, you can really mess this up at any time. And it's the same with the referral. So I want to share my first year. My first year in a hard networking group. So I was selling countertops. I think if you've listened long enough, you know that. And I didn't receive one valid referral my whole first year. And when it was time for renewal, Liz was so mad at me because she was like, "Oh, that was a nice year. You're probably done now." And I was like, no, I'm going to try again, but I'm going to do things differently. And so when I share these with you, I'm not going to lie, some of it I did learn, right? Like in classes, but then the other is I experienced this and I had to do something different to get the referrals I wanted.
Absolutely.
Because what I was getting was my brother-in-law mentioned that they might want to do their vanity, so you should give them a call.
Yeah.
Or, gosh, yeah, I was with my mom and she said she's sick of her kitchen. You give her a call.
Yeah.
Okay, if anyone says give them a call, that's probably your first sign they've put no effort into this referral whatsoever. Right.
The person's probably not expecting you.
No, they absolutely are not. And I've had many calls, and it is I'm sorry, who are you?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm Brandon Suba. I know so-and-so, which I always think is even creepier, isn't it? If someone calls you trying to sell you something, and then they start name dropping.
Yeah.
Like that makes a difference. And that's when I realized, oh my gosh, I am just getting these, I call them tips. Well, I guess not but tip. I'm getting leads. Yes. And if you're in a hard networking group, you should have a certain expectation of what that referral looks like.
Yes.
Some join groups for tips and leads. That's great for them. I want to close deals. I honestly did. And you know what? I said in my weekly presentations, I'm looking to give bids to anyone. Well,
there you go.
I got it.
You got what you asked for.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. So coming out of a whole year, my first experience with no referrals, I really think that's what drove me to invest into the networking world because I saw what I did different that then got results. And I know what it feels like to not have those.
Yes.
Okay. So let's talk about giving a referral. I don't know if we're going to really role play. We might role play a little today, but
fun.
Easy to say. The more people involved in a referral, the more likely it is a good referral.
Okay.
Let me explain. If I say, Angela, my sister is going to start a business next year and she's going to need marketing, you should give her a call. And then I walk away. How many people, once it's in your court, how many people are involved in that referral?
2.
Right. You and my sister.
Right.
Okay. If I come and say, Angela, I talked to my sister, and she's going to start a business in a year. Can I set up a coffee? All three of us get together, and maybe you can kind of help her out a little bit and really start the process so that when it comes that time she's ready, you're going to be the person she goes to.
Okay.
Cool. 3 of us.
Yes.
Right? I've never really done 4. I think that's a little ridiculous, so we'll just stick with 2 or 3.
Well,
Have you ever had
I mean,
a 4th in the referral
yeah.
source?
You could be, I think that you should do her marketing a year, and then Judy, who's a commercial lender, can help her get the loan. So let's all 4 go.
Okay. So
it
you're
could be something like that.
You're looking at the big full picture.
Right.
And that, of course.
Or
that's
it could
right,
also
business.
be, I'll have her bring her husband along too, because he's going to be helping her finance it.
Cool. Or if the business they're starting could be valuable reverse, right, to the people that you're referring, then okay, I see that. But we're going to stick with 2 or 3 for the example here. So to add the third, there's a few different ways to do it. An email introduction, in my opinion, is one of the best ways because it's on everybody's own time. And I'm giving you credibility to my sister right out of the bat.
Okay.
Right? Worked with Angela before. I know the culture at Pixel Fire is amazing. I've seen their work. I mean, I sold for you guys for a while, so I truly believe. But that's where within your email, you have the opportunity to build that credibility up as you're passing the referral.
Yes.
Okay. So already you're in a better spot. The 3-way phone call is tough because you've got to organize everything. But I feel there are some situations where an email is too confusing.
Could be.
An exclamation. Oh, I'm off my words just a little. An explanation with words could save a bunch of time.
Okay.
So when it's that case scenario, it is easier to get everyone to organize their time if you say, look, we could do this 700 different ways, but if you give me a 20-minute time frame and we all jump on a call, we're going to be able to knock out your questions like that.
Okay.
So now you're giving them a rhyme or reason to have the phone call. So I think that's good. And then face-to-face. And that's my personal favorite, although I have to share this story because I love this story. So in my original group, had my wife started working at the bank, and I had a commercial lender in my group, and she got a new boss. And her boss was supposed to do commercial lending. He had never done it. He didn't know anything about it. And so my wife was like, my husband's in a BNI group. I think you should look into that. And he goes, that doesn't work for what I need to do.
Of course.
Yeah. And so she told me that. I was like, well, I mean, it does.
Right.
Especially this one. So I said, well, I reached out to him and said, what if we get coffee and you can talk with the commercial lender in my group? He's going to answer your questions better than I can on how this works. Okay. What was meant to be a 1-hour coffee turned into a 2.5-hour coffee. And I was bored 30 minutes into it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because I brought them all together only for them to start talking about people they knew from the past. And they got off on all these. So my one recommendation is have an out.
Yeah. Why don't you two just continue? I got to go.
You got it. I was too big of a wuss to say it at the time. Now I would be much more comfortable. But a face-to-face meeting, that is really breaking down all the barriers. It's giving credibility. You can add credibility if needed. And that's both parties. Yeah. Because sometimes you refer somebody and they don't want the client based upon their perception, but maybe you can kind of, okay, well, this is getting a little weird, but this isn't how usually, right? Yeah. You can really help. So having 3 people within a referral, when you're giving a referral, is going to make it a lot stronger. And so I just ask you, give yourself the sniff test. Did I just hand that off and walk away? And what I love is if it's I have many different terms for this, but we'll just call it a bad referral. Okay. But if it's a bad referral, you want to get as far away from it as possible.
Yes. And
you don't want them to be like, oh, well, what's the phone number I should call? Don't know. Just reach out. Goodbye. Right.
Whoops.
Just all the red flags. But if you stay engaged and you stay involved, it's really going to build your credibility then with that other member because you really helped them get to where they need to be. So 2 people is a lead, and don't count yourself if you just threw it on someone's lap.
Right.
You're not 2 now. 3 people involved, that is what it's going to make for a true referral. Now, let's look at it outside of the group.
Okay.
Have you ever experienced this? Hi, everybody. I'm new to the group. This is my second week. I'm really happy to be here. I sell merchant processing, and I am really looking to meet the owner of ABC Company.
Okay.
I know the owner. I'll get you their contact after the meeting. Ever seen that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about where this can be a challenge. Number 1, how many times do you think that owner's been hit up by a merchant processor?
A few.
Okay. Number 2, how much credibility or even knowledge does that one member that has the connection know that new member?
Not a lot.
Probably slim to none, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're blindly just saying, oh my gosh, I know the name he said. And
now I'm going to give it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, here's how we can make this a little better. Number one, shut your mouth. The best thing I ever learned in sales was shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Talk less.
Yep.
They don't need it. But keep your mouth shut and do the research after the meeting. Ask the owner if it's okay to make the referral.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And this is the step that I felt was always missed for me. Because no one followed up and said, hey, I know you mentioned your kitchen like years ago. Are you going to do that? Like, are you gonna,
right.
You're really gonna do it? Because I have somebody.
Yeah.
Right. So there was none of that going on for me. And that's where it got awkward.
And with that whole, I know that person, a lot of the times they might not even know him, but they know his name.
Oh, we're on friends on Facebook.
Yeah.
They're my
And
best
think
friend.
that, or met him 10 years ago.
Yes, there's that one. Yep.
And then they don't do it. They just give you a referral slip with his name's John Hancock. Find the number on the website.
Got in the drawing. Booyah.
Exactly.
Yep. Nope.
Exactly.
So asking if it's okay to pass the referral leads to, and this is what I was talking about at the beginning, excitement, right? Excitement for your call. Because name one salesperson that is like, oh yeah, we've got a 10 o'clock call and they're ready to go, but I don't know if I'm gonna call. I don't know how it's really going to go.
Yeah.
No.
That doesn't happen.
No, you anticipate. You're excited because they're excited. And then it's the phone call and they're like, you couldn't have called me soon enough. How much do I write on the check for you? And that's where you've got everyone involved. You've built the credibility. You've asked for the permission. You know they actually need this service. Now you're credible across the board because you're saying, okay, I know you really need this. This person, I've had lunch with them. I've heard of the great business that they do. I'm excited to connect you because I think it's going to be valuable.
Yes.
And then the excitement comes in for the person that is the actual referral. I didn't get a lot of these, not going to lie, but gosh, how would you feel?
Yeah.
How would you feel?
Those are the unicorn referrals.
Yes. Yes. So, and then following up on all parties. And the big reason that I think follow-up is so important, well, there's two. You talk about the platinum rule a lot, right?
Yes.
So not getting a lot of referrals early on in my networking career, I got so damn excited about it that I would be like, okay, Angie, just so you know, I called them. I've got the appointment set. I'll let you know how it goes. All right, Angie, the appointment went well. I actually brought a sample of the color they like. And I had a member straight up tell me, they're like, I don't need to know all this. Yes, seriously. So I recommend, we talked about one-to-ones in a few episodes back. It's perfectly okay to say, when I pass you a referral, how would you like me to follow up on it?
Absolutely.
Or vice versa, because now you're subconsciously saying, we're going to be doing business. Right?
Yeah.
Little sales trick there.
Yep.
But then you're also platinum rule, allowing them to say, oh, well, let me know when you make contact and let me know when it's closed.
Yeah.
Or there may be some people out there, I want to know every step of the way. And where I did actually want that is if I needed the handyman to go in and do something before we could do the countertop piece, I needed to know what their timeline was to match up mine.
Well, I think it's also too, what if it goes badly? And they need some help. Yeah. I've called them 3 times and they've never called me back.
Yes.
And then I think it's okay to go back to the referral giver.
Absolutely.
I
think 3 times is too many. And if you're following up correctly, because remember, we're talking about hard contact groups. You should see each other every week.
Yeah.
It's perfectly, and maybe not the next week, but the 2 weeks from now, you could be like, hey, how did that referral go with my sister?
Yeah.
Then, worst case scenario, you forgot. You can at least be like, I'm not proud to say this, but I have not reached out yet.
Right.
But I will take care of that. Now, you're rebuilding credibility. I use that example in the credibility stage. But that's where you're helping them yet again. Because if my sister was anticipating, and I know you would never drop the ball like that, but if she was anticipating that so much, you've now kind of saved the day again.
Yeah.
And we can save this. Where, if it goes 3-4 months and no one's talked to anyone and I randomly run into my sister, I'm like, hey, by the way, how'd it go? And she's like, I don't know.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
And then it's gosh, if I would have just asked just once at that stupid meeting, I'd be okay. So follow-up is key. And of course, this is when you give, and not hounding, but following up and just letting them know or knowing how it goes. All right. Let's talk about giving referrals.
Okay.
you ever received a bad referral?
Yep.
I've received a lot of them. So there's a lot of different things you can do with giving. Number one, give without expectation. And I think that's the greatest way to do it. You say tit for tat. I use that a lot now since you've taught me that. I'm sure you coined that phrase, right?
I did not.
You didn't?
You never heard the phrase?
I'm joking. Yes, I have. Not the fish in a barrel one, but the tit for tat I've heard. Okay. Sorry.
Kettle of fish.
Kettle of fish. But give without expectation. And I think this is harder than it sounds.
Yes, it is in every scenario possible. I say this all the time, giving love and without expecting something in return. And it's just human nature.
Right.
Giving to give versus giving to receive are two very different things. So, I always use the example, like I do this all the time. I still do this. I did this morning. Bye, Todd. Oh, he didn't say he loves me. I love you.
Oh.
That is not giving to give.
Nope.
That's like saying, forgot to say it. What do you say now? Which is worse than not saying anything at all.
It is. Yep.
Giving to give and giving to receive are two very different things.
Oh, that's so funny. So, and we've talked about the good and the bad referrals. You need to respect your referral partners in your group, but you need to be realistic. And I got to the point in my situation, there were some people that when I got a referral from them, I didn't act quickly.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the first, second, or third one. I promise you that. But it got to the point where there was no follow-up. They had no engagement within the referral. And as I learned more about how to give a good referral, within receiving, I was like, oh, yeah, this is...
Not so much.
No, not so much. So again, be realistic. I don't feel you have to communicate to somebody and be like, just so you know, your referrals are crap. So
yeah,
they're going to know.
The only way I would do that is if they actually called me on it. And be
Sure.
like, hey, you've not been following up. I'd be like, well, I followed up on the first 10 referrals you gave me. They didn't go anywhere. So to be honest with you.
Yeah. It's hard for me to give the full commitment because I don't feel there's a lot of thought within the referral. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Right.
But I'm not. Let's see. Show appreciation for the referral. And I think this is something I rarely saw when I was heavily involved in the networking world, but a handwritten thank you for the referral.
Okay.
And I like to be a little showy. I would recommend giving it at the meeting, not like during the referral testimonial part.
I'm not a big fan.
Because you think they have to open it right then and there?
No, I'm not a big fan of the handwritten note.
Ooh, tell me more.
For several reasons. Mostly because I do not feel like the platinum rule is used.
Okay.
I feel like people have a templated thing that they write, or the ones that you like get them after every, hey, we saw each other at this networking event for 10 minutes.
Okay, no, I'm with you there.
And then I got a handwritten note. So I feel like they set aside, I have an hour every Monday where I need to write out handwritten notes to everybody who's ever done anything. So it loses. I would rather have, let me take you out for a beer. Thank you for the referral and tell you how it went. I would much prefer that.
So, and that falls under the show appreciation for the referral, because I've seen money given for a good referral, which I don't. I saw someone. This dude paid $50 if someone subbed for him, and he put it. Talk about showy. He put it. It was 2 20s and a 10. Can I go? It wasn't in Omaha, but 2 20s and a 10, and he put it in an envelope, and you better believe he made sure everyone saw.
That's weird.
That he would hand that. Oh no, that was because the sub wouldn't be there. He paid somebody for a sub, and we all knew. Like it was just
weird.
I think he had someone else give him the money. Like he gave the envelope to you to give to a sub when they get there, something like that. Yeah. I don't support that. I don't think you're paying enough with your time and efforts and everything for the referrals. But no, lunch I think is good. Offering to.
But again, it's the platinum. Maybe some people do love the handwritten notes.
Oh, correct. Yep.
Or a gift. Bringing somebody, box of truffles or something if you know they like that.
And I was all about a bottle of wine if I knew they drank or something like that. And again, I didn't get a lot of them. So when one closed, I was like, I'll give you some of the commission. I'll buy you something on this because I'm just damn excited.
Right.
Let's see. Act on the referral quickly and keep the member that passed the referral involved. Again, platinum rule.
Yep.
Some may not care how much is going on. Some might want to be very involved in it. Those are all good. Let them kind of dictate or have a one-to-one
and I would err on the side of giving them more information.
Yes.
As opposed to less, because you can kind of tell. If you text somebody, hey, I just met with Jenny and she's really excited to take the next steps. Thank you so much. And if they're like, great, you know that they probably don't give a shit that much.
Yep.
But if they're like, oh, yay, I'm so happy. Please let me know what she decides to do. Then you know they want to be more involved.
Then you keep that going. Yeah. No, I think it's very important. And again, I wanted to start with the be realistic, right? And communicate. But before you know that they're known for fluff it, you should always assume that it is a strong referral.
Absolutely.
And again, I did this.
Benefit of the doubt.
Benefit of the doubt. And I did this coming out with really, really shallow referrals. But I went in with so much dang excitement. Even when they said, I have no clue who you are or why you're calling me, I'm like, well, I'm excited to be on the phone with you. Yeah. So let's do this, right?
Yep.
And then the last piece, you should do well for all your clients.
Yes.
I firmly believe that. But if you can go a little above and beyond for that referred client, that's going to go back to a referral partner. Your average client, if you don't know really where they came from, or if it's just they found you on Fit, whatever it is, do well for them.
Right.
Because they are going to be advocates for you, right? I think that's a step coming up here in the CBJ.
Yep. If you do it correctly, you will turn them into advocates.
There you go. Right. But if you can really impress that referral partner with a second party just saying, oh my gosh, how great this experience was. Because the testimonial in the group is good. But having the person that you referred go out of their way to reach out and say, Angela, thank you so much for introducing me to Brandon. The experience was phenomenal.
Yep.
And especially if they've had a bad experience with what you do in the past and you really come in and save the day, just across the board. So if you can do a little extra.
Yeah. Then that's encouraging the referral source to give you more referrals.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
So you're really giving value to two parties at that point. And one of them, a strong referral partner, can be your golden goose.
Priceless. Yes.
I mean, it can make or break your business.
Every phenomenal, this group changed my life story was because they found a connection within the group that produced constantly. Those constant referrals because, yep, I need your piece. What is it? A lot of people that can do health insurance, like they don't. And so to have that relationship, and then if people are just health insurance and they're sending back, I have seen that. And there's money in that business.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely is. But I've seen that relationship work phenomenally. And that's what you want to do. You want to build a relationship like that with 2 or 3 people in your group so that it is a constant referral. The one-offs are great. But again, if you do it all right, if you do it all right, that out of the chute, what could become of it is just phenomenal.
Yes.
Phenomenal. And I think that's the point of these groups. It's just politics and personalities and, let's not lie, people.
All kinds of stuff
really
get in the way.
Of that.
Yes.
So any other thoughts on referrals?
I don't think so. I think you covered it very well.
No, it's simple.
And it's exciting.
But we get lazy or complacent.
Or you get stuck in your habits.
Yeah.
Stuck in your habits. Or you get upset that other people aren't doing it and say, why should I? I think that happens a lot. Nobody else is really qualifying their referrals. I might as well start giving shit referrals as well. They're all getting credit for all these shitty referrals.
Yeah.
While I'm putting 10 times the effort into it and getting nothing. So I might as well just do the same.
I think you just define challenges with chapters that I never noticed before. Because you're right. Everybody kind of goes to the weakest link, right? Oh, well, they're doing that. One of the coolest things, this was out in Lincoln. And I'm not going to get too far into this, but tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Tier 1 is we're in the group, we work together. Yep. Tier 2 is someone from outside of the group. And then tier 3 is that referral referred someone else. Okay. This group would not allow you to count it as a referral if it was a tier 1.
Oh,
you
wow.
had to have a tier 2 to actually, and you know what? Their numbers went up.
I bet.
Their numbers went up.
Expectations Yep.
And I just thought that was the coolest thing. I told a lot of vice presidents, if you really want to kick this group in the butt, set this expectation. Because now you're not getting credit for being the weakest link.
Yep.
You have to be at least 2 links good. I don't know if that's the right analogy. But yeah, I always thought that was really neat. And I was also very intimidated to be in that group. I wasn't a member, but I would be very intimidated to be in that group.
I would too.
Can't mess around.
Yeah.
Can't mess around. Well, again, we love to kind of do these parallels. This is in parallel with the excitement, getting referrals. There's a lot of great ways you can do it. There are fortunately some bad ways to do it. But check yourself. Like I said, give yourself the sniff test. How involved are you in the referrals you're giving? And how well are you receiving those and keeping the other person involved, following up, and just doing a really good job for them? So that's what we got for today. Thank you so much for listening or watching. The time you've given us, we like the reviews.
We do. 5-star.
Really like the 5 stars. Those are neat. Leave a comment. Like, maybe my voice is annoying today. Maybe my hair is not as great as I thought it was. I talked about my hair on the last episode.
Right.
You can go to UV2B. My hair still looks real good. So having a good
fantastic.
hair day. But other than that, we look forward to talking to you on the next podcast.